board game enthusiasts. Today we're going to be dissecting Grass, the cult classic card game from 1980 where strategy meets sabotage. In this game, your goal is to dominate the underground market, rack up $250,000 in profits, and fend off the competition. It's a game of wit, timing, and calculated risk. And we're about to dive right into the juicy details. Let's get started. The goal is simple. Be the first to make $250,000 in profit. But as any seasoned gamer would know, nothing worthwhile is ever easy. Your competitors will throw everything they have at you to make sure that your empire slows down while theirs flourishes. The game will end when a player reaches $250,000 or more after a round is completed. However, if multiple players reach this goal at the same time, whoever ends up having the most cash in the end wins. So, you better be careful, because every dollar matters. To set up, you'll just need to choose a dealer. The game itself suggests some unconventional methods, such as whoever has the longest hair or the greenest thumb. Instead, just roll a die or flip a coin. The dealer shuffles the deck and deals 6 cards to each player. The remaining cards go in a draw pile called the Grass stack, which will be between all the players, and you should make sure to leave space right next to it, the Wasted pile, which will be your discard pile. Each player needs space for their own hassle pile and marketplace, where they keep track of whether their market is open and they display their products respectively. On your turn, you're going to take 2 actions. First, you're going to draw the top card of the Grass stack and add it to your hand. Temporarily, you should have 7 cards. By the end of your turn, though, you're going to play 1 card to bring it down to 6. Now, of course, you're allowed to make trades with other players, but these trades will be made face down, because you don't know if your opponent is going to give you some real good stuff or just dirt. Also, during your turn, you're able to swap one of your Peddle cards with one of your opponent's unprotected Peddle cards. But if that sounds like a foreign language to you, don't worry, we'll get more into that later. Players will keep on going around playing cards until either the Grass stack runs out or a market close card is played. When someone reaches the 250,000 mark at the end of one of the rounds, then that player is declared the winner. But first, how about we go over each of the cards you'll find in the game, because each card has its own unique powers and abilities to help you become the kingpin you've always dreamed of. So the first group of cards will be the ones that go into either your or your opponent's hassle piles. And don't worry, I'll explain each one as we go along. First will be the Market Open card, which is the card you need to start selling. Without it, your marketplace is closed and you can't play any Peddle cards. Once again, more on that later. Rat out your competition by playing a Heat On card on top of an opponent's Market Open card. That player is no longer able to play any Peddle or protection cards while they have Heat On cards and can only take it off with their remaining hand. You aren't able to stack crimes upon your opponents, so each player can only have one kind of Heat On card on their hassle pile at a time. Thankfully in this game, you can get out of jail free, but only if you have the right cards. As there are 4 types of Heat On cards, you'll be needing the matching type of Heat Off card to get rid of the fuzz. Take your Heat On and Heat Off cards and place them underneath your market, which is now open again. Alternatively, money speaks. You could use the Pay Fine card against any Heat On card, but it'll be at the cost of one of your Peddle cards that's already in your marketplace, whether it's protected or not. The discarded Peddle card will go into the Wasted pile face up. The next one's a pretty fun one. It's called Steal Your Neighbor's Pot. You're able to play it when both you and your opponents have their open market cards on top and currently aren't dealing with any heat. You can use it to steal any unprotected Peddle card. Now, that's a pretty useful tool. So the next area of the board we'll go over is the marketplace, where things go down. Let's talk about Peddle cards. These cards are how you make your profits, ranging from $5,000 to $100,000. Bring them to your marketplace, but remember, they can be stolen if they don't have any protection. Additionally, there's one $100,000 Dr. Feelgood's Peddle, which can never be protected. You'll want to place your products up for sale, but you have to be careful because during any player's turn, they can swap one of their Peddle cards for any one of your unprotected Peddle cards. So, while it may look like a great profit, you gotta be careful because it can be stolen just as easily. Next up is protection cards, which will help shield your Peddle cards from any potential thieves, which are valued at either $25,000 or $50,000. These cards can protect multiple cards up to the value of that protection card. Like for example, a $50,000 protection card can protect either two $25,000 cards, or it can protect one $50,000 Peddle. The next two are special cards that you can play, and both of which will just go to the discard pile or the wasted pile once they're used. The first one is Stonehigh, where every player gives you an unprotected Peddle card and you put them all in your marketplace. If a player either has all of their Peddles protected, or if they don't have any Peddles to give, then nothing happens to them and you just take from all the other players. The next one is called Euphoria, which is what everyone wants to achieve. It works just like Stonehigh, but everyone must give you their highest value unprotected Peddle card. Just be ready to become the biggest threat at the table. Ready to deal some damage to your opponents? These next cards will be played right on top of your opponent's hassle pile, but just remember that if you fail to play any of these cards and the round ends early, then you're going to be stuck with a hefty fine. So, sorry bud, you're sold out. The card that forces your opponent to choose an unprotected Peddle card and toss it into the wasted pile. Afterwards, all players, including you, choose a card from their hand and secretly pass it to the player on their left. You never want to be double-crossed, as it'll force your opponents to get rid of their highest value unprotected Peddle card into the wasted pile and force them to skip a turn. Don't forget to swap a card to the left as well, just like with the sold out card. And if you're ready for the nuclear option, use utterly wiped out, which will waste all of a player's unprotected Peddle cards and get rid of their entire hassle pile, including their market open card. That player must play another market open card before they can begin to deal again, but not before skipping a turn. Just don't forget about after that happens, every player passes a card to the left, as you just made an enemy for life. While all these cards are incredibly powerful, you need to be wary because they all have a double edge to them as well. If the round ends early, then you're going to have to pay a fine, which will be deducted from your score. First off, if you have a sold out card in your hand at the end of the round, you'll have to pay $25,000 from your profits. Next up, if you have a double-crossed card just laying around in your hand, you're going to have to pay $50,000. And if you fail to pull the trigger, then your utterly wiped out card will cost you $100,000. I know that was a lot of cards to keep track of, but don't worry, there's only two more and they're very easy to learn, and they only have to deal with the end of the round. The first one's called the Banker, which you hold on to until the end of the round. The player with this card will nick $5,000 for each player at the end of the round who didn't protect all of their Peddle cards. Also, there's the Market Close card, which can only be played when you do not have any Heat On cards on your hassle pile. It'll immediately end the round. Rounds will end either when a player plays a Market Close card or the last card in the grass stack is drawn. If a player draws the last card in the grass stack, they'll take their turn like normal, but then afterwards, the round is over. You're going to need a notepad to keep track of everyone's scores. First, you're going to add up the value of every player's Peddle cards. After that, you're going to give the Banker their due and pay them $5,000 if you have any unprotected Peddle cards as well. After that, then you have to pay fines if you have either utterly wiped out, sold out, or double-crossed remaining in your hand. And then, last but not least, if you have any Peddle cards remaining in your hand that you did not play into your marketplace, you take the value of the highest Peddle card and subtract that from your score. The player who earns the most in a single round will gain a bonus of $25,000 to their score. This game itself is cumulative, so your score in the first round will be added or subtracted to your score in the second round. But don't worry, because you can never go below zero. Even if you earned $70,000 in the first round and lose $100,000 in the next round, you're still going to be ending up back at zero. The first player to have a running total of $250,000 or more at the end of a round wins the game. If multiple people have over $250,000 at the end of a single round, then whoever has the most money wins. If no one reaches the magic $250,000, then pass the dealer to the left and reshuffle those cards. Get ready for another round. There's a couple of variations in the rules for alternative styles of gameplay, but it's best to start with the basics for this one. But if you're feeling confident, then feel free to check out the rules for additional ways to play. Grass is a game of timing, negotiation, and knowing when to strike. Whether you're sabotaging a rival or building up your empire, every move counts. So shuffle up, deal those cards, and may the best Baron win.